The United Kingdom is expanding its diplomatic network across the Commonwealth with the opening of 9 new missions around the globe. And last evening, a reception was held to welcome the 3 new resident British commissioners of the region. More from Shane Jones.
3 of the new UK offices will be based in Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, joining the existing high commissions in Barbados and St. Lucia. Speaking during the reception at her official residence, British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean Janet Douglas explained that British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was behind the move to expand.
As Britain leaves the EU, we are not, that doesn't mean we're sort of disengaging from the world. And we are certainly going to be out there and re-engaging with some of our partners from perhaps that over the years and perhaps we might have neglected just a little bit. And so as part of this initiative, he announced that we would be opening or reopening a number of our missions in Commonwealth countries.
Lindsay Thompson is a new resident British Commissioner to Antigua and Barbuda, and she shared some of her goals.
When I met His Excellency the Prime Minister Gaston Brown, we have many objectives in common. My prime objectives are education and the environment, and I know that's something the government of Antigua and Barbuda are passionate about as well.
Commissioner Thompson's counterpart in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Steve Moore, says he is still settling in.
It's early days. My sort of priorities, apart from trying to set up an office and recruit staff, are firstly, I think, to meet people, meet and talk to as many people as possible, listen and learn, and then to understand the issues and challenges of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and trying to translate that to my colleagues back in London and Barbados, and then to build bridges. What we need to do is further strengthen our good relationship as it is at the moment.
Meanwhile, new resident British Commissioner to Grenada, Wendy Freeman, has already pinpointed what she wants to work on immediately.
I'm keen on environmental programs, climate change as well in the run-up to COP26, but also supporting the youth. And I've seen some of the talented youth in Grenada already at the National Youth Awards last week. I was honoured to be invited along with the Deputy Prime Minister, and supporting a HEON project to help empower our nation. There's a lot of talented youth in Grenada. I'm looking to see what I can do to further support that.
Over the next few years, the UK government has pledged to provide over £400 million to help minimise the impact of climate change and natural disasters, as well as boost economic growth and tackle organised crime and corruption. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Well, it is the month of our independence, and every weeknight this November, our Shane Jones will give you a bite-sized piece of Barbadiana in our Newsnight series, #246.
Barbados, boy, we'll give it up for the world. Nothing like coming home to the rock, boy, for real. Come on, let's go.
One sure way to identify a Barbadian is how we sound, our accent, the way we just talk. It's cultural, it's our own, and it tick. While in formal settings, British English, or the Queen's English, is both spoken and written official language of Barbados. More casual settings see Barbadians speak a unique dialect like no other. The local language of Barbados is often referred to as Bajan dialect, or quite simply Bajan. Bajan dialect is a slang version of broken standard English mixed with very distinctive Bajanisms that are unique to the island. Barbadians also speak with an accent best described as a combination of the influences of both the African and British languages. We speak using colourful, expressive, fast-paced manner that quite often leaves some non-Bajans totally confused. Bajan can be tricky to follow at times, especially for visitors to the island. Nevertheless, Bajan dialect is spoken proudly and freely island-wide and is understood by Bajans worldwide. For example, in Bajan dialect, the sound of TH is pronounced as a D sound, so that becomes dat. This is pronounced as dis. What's interesting about Bajan dialect is that it's mainly a spoken language and has no standardization of its written form. Therefore, words and sentences are generally spelled as they're pronounced. Don't forget to allow for the accent. As a consequence, Bajan words are commonly shortened versions of their original form. For example, ting refers to thing. Therefore, full sentences also often flow into one long word. For example, happen rather than happened, and rather than what lead to the phrase what happened as opposed to what happened. And we hear this story many times. Often when people are in another country, they could be among hundreds of people. When a Bajan start talking, they know that is a Bajan.
Hashtag 246 was brought to you with the kind compliments of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation.
Here is that tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Did you know? Analyzing criminal behavior scientifically using proper statistical methods could enhance the ability of criminologists to better understand crime and what can be done to address it. This tip is brought to you in association with the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, keeping an eye on crime.